The silence of the observatory in Flagstaff, Arizona, was usually broken only by the soft hum of the equipment. But that night, a hypnotic melody began to echo through the speakers, making my heart race. I, Dr. Emily Carter, was immersed in data from distant stars when the music began to flow, like a whisper from the cosmos itself. At first, I thought it was just a system glitch, but the repetition and complexity caught my attention. Jake. I called, dialing up the sound engineer who worked beside me. You need to hear this. He quickly appeared, his eyes shining with curiosity. What did you find, Emily? Listen, I responded, adjusting the volume. The melody seemed to dance in the air, carrying an emotion I couldn't quite decipher. Jake frowned, focusing on the music. This isn't random, he murmured, leaning over the monitor. There's a pattern here, something resembling a musical language. Really? Do you think it could be extraterrestrial communication? I asked, my heart pounding with the idea. The possibility that humanity might not be alone was both terrifying and fascinating. Maybe, he replied, his gaze distant. We need to analyze this further. I'll get some equipment. As Jake moved away, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were on the brink of a monumental discovery. What did that melody mean? I found myself thinking about all the years I had spent studying the stars, dreaming of hearing something that could change humanity's perception of the universe. Moments later, Mia Rodriguez, a young and talented astrophysicist, walked into the room with a smile. What's going on? I heard the music from the hallway. It's a strange transmission from the telescope, I explained, trying to hide the anxiety in my voice. Jake thinks it might contain a message. A message? That's incredible! Mia exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Let's decipher it together. With that, the atmosphere shifted. The studio, once quiet, now buzzed with the energy of our collective curiosity. As Jake rebooted his equipment and Mia opened analysis programs, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were about to uncover something that could change everything. The melody intensified, echoing in our hearts, a call we couldn't ignore. And so, we began our journey in search of answers, not knowing that what awaited us could be far greater than any of us could imagine. The tension in the control room was palpable as the government communication still echoed in our ears. We're receiving reports of unknown ships approaching Earth. The officer's voice resonated with a grave, almost ominously urgent tone. I looked at Jake and Mia, both wearing expressions that mirrored the concern forming in my mind. It was as if the melody we had deciphered was now intertwined with this new mystery. Do you think there could be a connection? I asked, trying to stay calm. The melody in these ships? Jake frowned, his gaze fixed on the data-filled screens. If the melody wasn't just a message, but a warning, maybe these ships are related somehow. We need more information. Mia, typing furiously, looked up, her eyes shining with a new idea. What if the melody contained coordinates? Maybe we can use the analysis software to extract patterns. Something that tells us where these ships are heading. A great idea, Mia. I encouraged her, admiring her determination. Let's work on that right now. As the team dove into the task, the silence was interrupted by the sound of notes repeating at regular intervals, as if the music was communicating again. Jake adjusted the controls, trying to isolate a specific sequence. This is interesting, he commented, his voice a bit more animated. These notes, they seem to form a pattern, almost like a code. Let's translate this. I urged, feeling the urgency build. Time seemed to be running out, and the pressure was almost unbearable. We need to understand what this means before it's too late. As we worked in unison, the atmosphere in the room became electric. Every new piece of data that appeared on the screen seemed to carry immense weight. This wasn't just a scientific discovery, the future of Earth was at stake. If these coordinates are a warning, Mia whispered, we need to figure out if it's an invitation or a threat. What if it's both? Jake added, his voice heavy with concern. We need to prepare for the worst. I took a deep breath, trying to organize my thoughts. If we're really dealing with a threat, we can't hesitate. We have to investigate. If the melody is what brought us here, it's our responsibility to see it through. The team agreed, and as we continued to decipher the notes, a mix of fear and determination filled me. What had started as simple curiosity had now turned into a fight for survival. The road to the new observatory in the New Mexico desert seemed endless. The sun was beginning to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple as I drove, with Emily and Mia in the back seat, engrossed in a heated discussion about the melody that had consumed us over the past few weeks. "Do you really think it's a warning?" Mia asked, her eyes fixed on the quickly passing landscape. What could be so threatening that it needed to be communicated this way? "I don't know," I replied, trying to stay calm. "But the repetition of the notes and the coordinates, it doesn't seem random. We need to be prepared for whatever we find." Emily turned to us, her expression serious. We can't underestimate this. If there really is a threat approaching, we need to decipher the message before it's too late." When we arrived at the observatory, the atmosphere was tense. The concrete walls seemed to close in on us, and the air was thick with anticipation. We quickly set up the equipment and connected the telescope. The sound of the melody began to echo again, and each note seemed to vibrate within us. "Listen," Mia said, pointing to the monitor. "I think I found something." She quickly typed on the keyboard, and the image of the sound wave appeared. "The melody here. There's a sequence that repeats." "A great work, Mia," I exclaimed as adrenaline started to flow. "Let's analyze this more closely." The silence in the observatory was deafening as we all focused on the screen. Suddenly, a trail of text began to form. The words stood out: "Darkness is approaching. Prepare." A chill ran down my spine. "This is serious," I murmured. What could darkness mean? I looked at Emily and saw that she shared my fear. We need to understand what this means," she said, her voice firm. We can't ignore what we've just discovered." As we discussed the implications, an anomaly appeared on the monitors. My heart raced. What is that?" Jake asked, moving closer to the screen, his eyes wide. The image became clearer, revealing a massive alien ship approaching Earth. Panic was instantaneous. "This could be a response to our research," Mia said, her voice trembling. What do we do now?" We need to act quickly," Emily stated, her determination filling the room. We don't have much time." And so, as the shadow of the ship loomed closer, the weight of responsibility fell on us. The melody that initially seemed like an enigma was now a real warning, and the urgency of the situation pushed us into an unknown abyss. Looking at the monitors, the tension in the air was palpable. The massive alien ship was rapidly approaching Earth, its imposing form dominating the screen. I knew we had to act, but the words seemed to escape me. The sound of the melody still reverberated in my mind, like a distant echo of a warning we couldn't ignore. "Emily, we have to inform the authorities," Jake said, his face pale in the blue light of the monitors. "If we can establish contact, they can prepare a defense." "I'm trying, but there's immense interference," I responded, frustration bubbling in my voice. "It's like the ship is blocking all communications." Mia, standing beside me, seemed lost in thought. What if the melody is our only chance to communicate with them? If they're listening, maybe the music is a way to send a message." Jake raised an eyebrow. "You mean we should send the melody back? That's risky. What if they interpret it as a threat?" We need to take that risk," I said, resolute. "The melody is our only connection with them. It's a warning message, and maybe, just maybe, it's also an attempt at communication." Mia quickly began adjusting the software while Jake and I exchanged glances, both understanding the gravity of the situation. As soon as the sequence of notes was played back, a sepulchral silence filled the room. The sound of the music filled the space, carrying with it our hopes and fears. "Ascent," Mia announced, her eyes fixed on the screen. The music seemed to dance in the air, as if moving towards the ship, carrying our message. Suddenly, a response came. A new melody, but this time, it was different. The notes were heavier, filled with a palpable tension. The air grew cold, and a shiver ran down my spine. What is this?" Jake asked, his voice now grave. I don't know," I replied, the unease growing in my chest. But this doesn't sound friendly. We're being watched. Mia adjusted the frequencies, and as she did, the new melody intensified, as if the ship was drawing even closer. I think they're trying to intimidate us, she said, her face contorted with worry. We need to understand what this means. If the original melody was a warning, then this new music is a call to battle? Jake suggested, his voice trembling. With that, the truth settled in our hearts. We were in a race against time. We needed to decipher what this new melody meant, and more importantly, figure out how we could defend ourselves before the ship reached Earth's atmosphere. The weight of responsibility was overwhelming, but there was no time to hesitate. Our only hope lay in the notes echoing through space, and we were determined to uncover their true meaning. The room was enveloped in a tense silence, only broken by the faint hum of the computers and the distant sound of the melody reverberating in our minds. I glanced at Jake, who was focused on his monitor, his face illuminated by the bluish light of the screen. The sound engineer had always been the creative mind of the team, and now, more than ever, I needed him to be at his best. Jake, I began, what do you think will happen if we play this frequency? Do you really believe it could destabilize the alien ship? He turned to me, his eyes shining with a mix of determination and concern. Hey Emily, it's our only chance. The melody has a structure that seems to resonate with the ship. If we can synchronize it perfectly, we might be able to disrupt their communications or, who knows, even disable it. Mia, who was beside me, frowned thoughtfully. We have to be quick. Time is running out, and we don't know what they're planning. We need to be ready for anything. I took a deep breath, feeling the pressure mount. Then let's do this. Jake, set everything up for the simulation and let me know when you're ready. The tension was palpable as Jake typed furiously. Finally, he turned and said, we're ready to test. The frequency is set. Let's see if this really works. My heart pounded in my chest. Mia, are you on the activation button? She nodded, her fingers trembling slightly. Yes, I'm ready. Then on 3, 2, 1 now. I commanded as Mia pressed the button. The melody began to play, a resounding symphony that seemed to resonate with the very space around us. The room vibrated with the sound, and I wondered if we could really impact the ship approaching. As the music intensified, a glow began to appear on the screens, indicating that the ship was responding. Look! Jake shouted, pointing to the monitor. The frequency is causing some reaction. A momentary relief washed over me, but the anxiety quickly returned. What would happen next? The ship was only minutes away from entering Earth's orbit, and we had no idea what it might do. Let's keep going. We need more data. If the music is working, we have to capitalize on this. I felt the adrenaline pulsing through my veins. It was a life-or-death game, and the responsibility of saving the planet was in our hands. Mia looked at me with a determined expression. Hey Emily, we've made it this far. We can't give up now. You're right, I responded, trying to inject confidence into myself and my team. Let's fight for this. And so, with the melody still echoing in our ears, we prepared for what could be our last attempt to save Earth. The tension in the air was palpable as I, Dr. Emily Carter, watched the monitor screen. The device was ready, and the melody that had consumed us for months now echoed through space. My heart raced, and I exchanged nervous glances with Jake and Mia. It's now or never, I murmured, trying to convey some confidence. Activating in 3, 2, 1, Jake pressed the button. The music spread like a sound wave, vibrating at frequencies we had never imagined exploring. However, what happened next left me speechless. The alien ship, which had previously appeared as a menacing silhouette, began to emit a bright light, a glow that enveloped us like a warm blanket. Emily, what's happening? Mia asked, her eyes wide as she watched the screen, now pulsing along with the melody. I don't know, but this doesn't seem like an attack, I replied, confused and intrigued. The light intensified, and to our astonishment, holograms began to appear. They showed diverse civilizations, each with its own form of life, all sending messages of peace. The melody resonated with a harmony that united everything. They're calling us, Jake whispered, filling his voice. The images danced on the screen, revealing that the melody was a summons, not a threat. It was a call to unite against an enemy much greater than we could imagine. Who is this enemy? Mia asked, curiosity and fear mixed in her gaze. A destructive entity that feeds on entire worlds, a voice echoed through the room, and I realized it wasn't just the music speaking, but the ship itself. We are here to fight together. The reality hit us like a lightning bolt. We weren't just the recipients of a warning, we were now part of something much bigger. We need to prepare, I said, feeling the weight of responsibility on my shoulders. Earth needs ambassadors. Jake nodded, the determination in his eyes. We're ready for this new mission, aren't we? Yes, I replied, looking at Mia, who was as excited as she was scared. We're going to save our planet and help save others. We're not alone. And at that moment, I felt a wave of hope wash over me. The music was no longer just a melody, but a symbol of unity and a fight for intergalactic survival.